Okay. The article I choose is why do employees have counterproductive working behavior? The role of founders, Mercuryism, and the corporate culture in China. First, this article introduces the current status of Chinese corporate. Uh, the rapid popularity of Mercuryism thinking in Chinese companies let people believe that the Machiavellian thinking is the cause of those companies' rapid growth. And under the cultural background, people with this characteristic are likely to choose people with the same characteristic as their leader or employees. And the Machiavellian trait may explain the intentional behavior of individual to harm the organization or its interest. From the psychological perspective, the destructive behavior caused by the negative influence comes from the current situations. Previous studies have shown that the Machiavellian trait may damage organization more than personal interest, but those previous studies have not pointed out the potential impact on the people's behavior when someone have Mark William trait around them, like their boss or their co-workers, or the influence on their behavior when the corporate culture have Mark William trait. So here is two important concepts in this article. The first is Mark William trait. Is it it is a personality trait for the purpose of maximum the perfect and manipulating others. This article uses the four-dimensional method to measure this personality, which are first, distrust of others; second, moral manipulating; third, desire of control; and fourth, desire of status. And the intentional behavior of individual to harm the organization or the interest or the CWBS. Uh, what do we call CWBS? And there are several ways to measure the CWBS, like the two-dimensional structural scales and the general criminological theories. But all of them have some kind of the limit. This article combines these two important concepts and use the Machiavellian corporate culture, or the MCC, to refer to the status that the founder's personality and the corporate culture has Machiavellian trait, and believe that the MCC may be formed in two ways: top to down and bottom to up. And this article make a hypothesis that MCC may induce the formation of CWBS and weaken employees' ability to control the CWBS. To conduct this research, this article chose the single case studies, which is different from the peer study focus on the political or the social perspective. They focus on the single case. And this article select Centron, which is a Chinese company, as a research object. They select this company based on following reasons. First, it is a very typical family business. And second, its leader has Machiavellian characteristic. At least people believe that it have Machiavellian characteristic. And third, this company is large in scale and stable in operations, which means that it can hold enough time for the research. The study used in-depth interview and compilation of industrial and company data. And finally, this paper obtained a report for about 170,000 words. And based on this report, this article adopt quality qualitative research and about the data analysis. They use two types of the coding, which are widely used in the qualitative studies. They are coding variables set according to the existing series and complete open coding. And this article combines the two methods. So, to the case analysis, by using the four-dimensional scale I mentioned earlier, the articles found that the cartoons company have obvious feature of MCC and CWBS, and the company score higher in the low trust and control orientation, and this shows that this case is pretty good. And through the coding research, this article found that why this company have developed CWBS based on three facts. Trust, psychological contract violation, and organizational justice. They state that the employees will actually change their behavior to match the corporate cultures, and because the abuse of the internal power of the family's business and the Machiavellian characteristic of the leader, it will lead to a kind of a no-trust corporate culture, which in turn will lead to smash of employees' expectations of companies, breaking the psychological contract and undermining the cooperation and the trust between employees, and finally impact behaviors. And the control-oriented corporate culture will cause employees to make contributions that are not in line with their returns, which will raise questions about corporate equality. And this will cause employees to constantly rebuild their psychological balance and eventually lead to negative perceptions. And the status-oriented culture will aggravate the abuse of power, which will weaken the corporate system and affect the innovation capability of the companies. And the article provides a theoretical framework mode showing how corporate culture, the boss characteristic, and how employee and their behavior affect each other. And they point out that Chinese family business are characteristic by the low trust and control orientations. Among them, breaking the psychological contract of employee is an important reason for employees to adopt CWPS, and low trust play a big role in it. Cross-cultural research shows that this kind of the status is more common in the Southeast Asian country, and this case is not an exception. And they point out that company may eliminate the negative influence of this type of culture by establishing a great rule and regulations